What's going on YouTube? So today we're going to be doing a review on Forza 5. It's an Xbox One exclusive, and I also have some gameplay in the background. I'm using the McLaren. It's pretty much arguably probably the best car in the game. It's even on the cover of the box, but it's a really good car. Let's just get started with the review. So Forza 5 is a I'd say big step forward from Forza 4. It's 1080p. Native, not upscaled or anything, 60 frames per second, so it really does give you a next-gen experience. But being 1080p and 60 frames a second, they really mastered the cars. But since they mastered the cars, the one downside to that is the lack of cars and the lack of race maps. And a lot of people have been complaining about how many cars and how many racetracks there are, but the amount they have are really good. They take all the little details in the cars and the tracks. They even send out laser scanners onto the tracks to figure out the imperfections in the tracks. So there's a little bump there or something like that, it'll actually be in the game. It's a really good game, but I'm pretty sure Forza 6 and so on will get you more cars and tracks and so on. But this is a really good game for a launch title. Really good. I love the racing, and another thing I like about it is they use the Drivatar. It's part of the Xbox One cloud service, so as you start racing, it'll start learning how you drive. So then, because when you play the campaign, none of the people that you race against are AI, they're actually Drivatar players. So you could be racing against me in one of your campaign matches, and it drives just like the way I would drive. So if I never use my brakes, it would never use your brakes. If I crash into people all the time, it would crash into people. If I go off the map on this one part of the map, I would do the same thing in that race. It's very good, and I like to see, and I think I'm going to see more of this Drivatar thing in other games too, which would be really cool, taking advantage of Microsoft's cloud, and it would be kind of cool to see what they have in the future. And as we talk about the multiplayer of Forza 5, it's on dedicated servers. Like I said before, it's on the cloud on Microsoft's dedicated servers, which I can't remember exactly, but I know they have thousands. I think it's hundreds of thousands, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments on exactly how much it is. I know it's a lot, but they're all on dedicated servers. And a cool thing about their multiplayer service is they have a bunch of different game modes and all that stuff you can play, but you can actually race your friends even when they're not on. Like I said before about the Drivatar. So you can race them and see if you can actually beat them just when they're not even online, which I think is a really cool feature. And I like to see in other games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, and just play with them when they're not there with the Drivatar, and syncing up with how you actually play would be really cool. And in case you guys didn't know about Forza 5 and all the other previous Forzas, it's a driving simulator. So it's not like Need for Speed and all that, where it's an arcade version of a car racing. It's actually a simulator, so they have some really good physics engines in there. It's really like a really good simulator. But the thing I like about the game the most is the impulse triggers. So not many games have taken advantage of this, but in the controller and the triggers where you accelerate and brake, there's actually this little vibration thing that's not really feel like a vibrate, it kind of feels like pressure. So as you start accelerating, you can actually feel the pressure and the resistance that it gives you, which is, I think, is really cool. And same thing with the brake. So you can actually, it feels more like you're actually inside the game, which I really recommend and highly tout Turn 10 for including in there. That's a really cool feature. So if you have an Xbox One or looking to get an Xbox One and trying to figure out what games you want, and you really want a racing game, it basically comes down if you want a simulator or not. But if you are on the border or something like that, I really recommend to go Forza 5. I'm not a big racing fan, but this really kind of turned me into a racing fan, so I highly recommend that. It's a great game, and I'm sure you'll love it. And this is the end of the video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like button. That will really help me out, and I'll see you next time.